Good evening. Welcome to our Tuesday, April 11, 2017 edition of the Government News Brief. In the news this evening, public cooperation encouraged to foster effective investigations into the health sector, small businesses being equipped to partake in the public procurement system, and Region 2 residents to benefit from improved water supply. These and other stories when the news returns. Stay tuned. Thank you for staying with us. I am Renetta LaFleur. Here are the details. The Ministry of Public Health is urging citizens to play their part in ensuring stringent investigations are carried out at health facilities. Delicia Haynes has the details.
In order for the Ministry of Public Health to carry out effective investigations into issues emanating from various health facilities, citizens are urged to raise issues and concerns with the offices of the Ministry of Public Health. Minister of Public Health Walter Lawrence says that many times complaints recorded by citizens encourage swifter responses since they are the ones affected by shortcomings in the delivery of health care and other services.
Ordinary citizens who have knowledge and experience and so on. If you find an issue, please call the office. Call us, and we will address it. We will investigate it. This is a very large sector, and so many things may slip us by if we do not have you policing the sector. And I'm happy when people write things, but I would like people to at least know that the minister's office is open.
Minister Lawrence was at the time responding to questions posed to her by Gina with regards to how the ministry will address the death of a premature baby at the West Damarara Regional Hospital. The minister says although no direct complaint or report was made to the ministry, efforts were being made to confirm and investigate the matter.
This was one that I saw on Facebook while I was abroad, and I immediately asked the office, and I was very happy to hear that my office had already stepped in and asked for an investigation to be done on that. So we await that report.
The Ministry of Public Health has been addressing issues brought to its offices by citizens. These are all part of measures being put in place to improve the levels of services being offered in the local health sector.
Since I have assumed the office of the Minister of Public Health, I have not had a direct complaint. What I have had the staff working on, if I read anything in the newspapers, that's the first thing in the morning after, of course, talking to the Most High. I look at the newspapers to see what issues they are, and I will ensure that I notify the various staff to either intervene or to have an in-depth report submitted on it.
Local newspapers and social media have highlighted ongoing issues hampering the delivery of public health care. Minister Lawrence encourages this since it has given much satisfaction and brought resolution to a number of matters that have prevailed in the health sector for a number of years. For the Government News Brief, Delicia Haynes.
Small businesses are now being equipped to effectively take part in the public procurement system. Delon Sanko reports.
Minister of Finance Winston Jordan had announced in the 2017 budget that 20% of government contracts would be awarded to small businesses and small contractors. Bearing this in mind, the Small Business Bureau, SBB, is hosting a two-day awareness session to better equip small businesses in the process of bidding for government contracts. This exercise will also strengthen the procurement system by making small contractors more responsive and to have more small contractors on board. Additionally, the seminar stakeholders will draft a mechanism so that the SBB can report to the Minister of Business with respect to value, numbers, and how they can tap in to the procurement sector. Minister of Business Dominic Gaskin says that the government is the biggest spender in the country and it is important that the money is spent in ways that provides maximum economic impact and fair opportunity for all types of businesses.
We cannot just give contracts to a few. We cannot just enrich a handful of contractors. The cake certainly needs to be shared with a little less exclusivity and a little more inclusivity.
Minister Gaskin also says the awarding of 20% government contracts to small businesses is catered for in the law. However, it was never implemented. He notes that the government is committed to working on mechanisms to give effect to that law.
Not an easy task. It is complicated, and it will take a government that is fully committed to the well-being of our small businesses to make it happen. It has never happened before, but we are going to make it happen. It requires patience, it requires cooperation, and it requires a lot of preparation. Our small businesses have to be prepared, and so do all our government agencies.
SBB's officer in charge, Gillian Edwards, says it is important that such a system is in place and that small businesses are well aware of the procedures that they need to follow.
You know what is required in terms of how you can prepare yourselves if you have not already been accessing these opportunities so that you can do so.
The Ministry of Business and other stakeholders, with support from the regional administrations, will conduct similar seminars in other regions. The Ministry of Business, in collaboration with the Commercial Registrar, the Guyana Revenue Authority, the National Insurance Scheme, Guyana National Bureau of Standards, the Guyana Office for Investment, among other agencies, will be facilitating the awareness session. Delon Sanko for the Government News Brief.
Region 2 residents can expect an improved supply of water as the Guyana Water Incorporated moves to upgrade its services in the region. Details in this report.
The water company has several initiatives underway this year geared at ensuring all communities in Essequibo receive adequate potable water. Former Regional Manager, GWI Region 2, Rubindra Dionarain, says one of those plans include the construction of another water treatment plant to complement the one at Lima Sands.
In our long-term plan, we have plans to construct a new water treatment plant to service the northern section of the coast. That is from Paradise to Charity. But GWI now formulating the strategic plan, and when the plan is finished, then we will know which year exactly we will be embarking on that project.
During this month, GWI will commence the metering of the entire Essequibo coast. This should be completed by the end of 2017. The project is aimed at reducing losses and bettering the pressure of water distributed. In the meantime, the company is working to improve the quality of water distributed from the various pump stations, which is plagued with high iron content.
The average iron content in Essequibo from the groundwater is 5 milligrams per liter. So what we did, commence in 2017, we introduced a treatment, sequence treatment at the pump stations, all 6 of the pump stations. This treatment basically improved the color of the water. So customers are now receiving water of a better color in terms of it clear. So no staining on their tiles or their toilets and stuff. And this has increased customer satisfaction within the region.
The water company currently serves 9,200 customers with 1 water treatment plant at Lima Sands and 6 pump stations across the island. Dionarain points out that the Lima Sands water treatment plant is not functioning but is expected to be operational by this weekend.
This project is basically a potable water well and transmission distribution system. It cost GWI $100 million to construct. It's still not finished as yet. We still awaiting the GPL to power the pump station, and we have to install the service connections in the area.
Residents of Lima Sands are being encouraged to apply for the metered water service in their community. Zinil Williams reporting for the Government News Brief.
The review of the bauxite industry, which was commissioned last year in observance of its centennial, is set to end soon. Tiffany Rodias tells us more.
Minister of Natural Resources Raphael Trotman says the report on the review is expected to be completed before the end of May.
We are currently reviewing the industry to see where our reserves are and the future of the industry.
Minister Trotman says the review is being conducted by Lance Carberry and Sylvester Carmichael, veterans within the industry.
And it includes a decision as to whether or not we should have another alumina plant in the country.
The government is already considering fueling the alumina plant with the natural gas that it has found along with oil. However, this is dependent on the findings of the review. Guyana celebrated 100 years of bauxite mining in October 2016. While the sector continues to hold its own, decreased world demand for the mineral prompted the government to carry out the review of the industry. The review is also a manifesto promise of the administration. It will help to determine the future plans for the industry. For the Government News Brief, Tiffany Rogers.
The Region 5 administration hopes to introduce a model farm on which senior high school students can serve a 5-year internship. Neola Damon has the details.
The model farm will also serve to reduce high unemployment rates in Region 5. Regional Executive Officer REO Ovid Morrison explains that the approval of the model farm has helped materialize the administration's plan to assist in the economic development in the region.
Development of an economic agricultural model farm got unanimous approval from the Regional Democratic Council. However, some section of the Regional Democratic Council, for the purpose of political achievement or political favor, seems to have a disrespect for law and order. And I'm not saying disrespect for law and order accidentally. I shall support it. I have in my possession, and you would be invited to check, a lease granted by the MMA to the Regional Democratic Council of Region 5 for agricultural purposes.
Regardless of the challenges that the Regional Democratic Council RDC experienced due to persons illegally using the land for personal purposes, systems have been put in place to ensure that the RDC has full access to the lands to carry out the program.
It was decided, as Ariel mentioned previously, it was voted that Region 5 will be doing agriculture developmental farm right here at Fort Wellington. And that farm, what we will be looking at, the areas are land selection, crop cultivation, crop rotation, waste consolidation, and also a training center for young people and persons who are interested in agriculture. So the farm basically, I know many persons might be thinking how this will operate. So we are looking that it will be income generated, and based on the areas that I would have outlined.
The 49.7 acres of land was released by the Mahaica-Maikoni Abri Agricultural Development Authority, MMA, ADA, to the region in 1992 for agricultural purposes. The REO says that the model farm will be introduced in phases as finances are provided. Senior students leaving school in Region 5 are expected to be streamlined into the program. Neola Damon for Government News Brief.
This has been another edition of the Government News Brief. The details of these and other stories can be found on GNews website. We encourage you to subscribe to our website and YouTube channel. You can also like and follow us on Facebook to be updated as the news unfolds. Remember to join again tomorrow for another edition of the Government News Brief. I am Renetta LaFleur. Have a great evening.